Life is a game, and here are the rules. What if I told you that your life works like a game, but no one ever handed you the manual? What if there are invisible rules operating all the time, shaping your reality, your emotions, your results, and you can learn how to use them in your favor? It sounds bold, I know, but maybe the problem was never a lack of luck, not a lack of talent, not a lack of opportunity. Maybe you were simply playing without understanding the universal laws that structure the board. How many times have you tried hard, thought positively, stayed focused, and still felt like nothing changed? That happens because the game does not respond only to desire. It responds to your awareness, to your thoughts, to your energy, to your choices. There's a process happening behind the scenes. And when you understand how it works, you begin to realize that many of your challenges were not blocks. They were levels. In this content, you will see life as a game from a completely different perspective. You will understand why certain patterns repeat, why some obstacles feel like tests, and how stepping into the role of a conscious player changes everything. This is not magic. It is strategy. And when you learn the rules, something powerful happens. The game stops feeling confusing and starts making sense. Life is a game. If you pause and observe with a little more awareness, you will notice something interesting. Life as a game is not just a beautiful metaphor. It is almost like a manual hidden in plain sight. There are invisible rules operating all the time. Universal principles organizing reality behind the curtain. The issue is that most people enter the field without even realizing strategy exists. They complain about the score, but they never studied the game. And you cannot win a match you do not understand. These rules are not written in the sky, but they operate through your energy, through your thoughts, through your focus, through the attention you direct every single day. When someone lives on autopilot, reacting to everything without reflection, it is like pressing random buttons on a controller. But when you start observing patterns, emotions, and results, you begin to see the backstage of your own reality. And that changes everything, because from that moment on, you stop being a spectator and you start playing for real. Choosing what to believe is also part of the strategy. If your mindset is aligned with growth and evolution, you interpret challenges as levels of the game, not punishments. That is not naivety. That is emotional intelligence applied. It is understanding that your journey is a process, full of stages, tests, lessons. And the more you accept that life works this way, the more you realize that maybe you were never lost. Maybe you were just playing without knowing the rules. Thought is not everything, but it is part of the process. There is a common misunderstanding when people talk about manifestation. Many believe that thinking positively is enough, and reality changes like magic. It does not work that way. Thought is powerful, yes, but it is one tool within a much larger process. It is like having an important piece on the board. Alone, it does not win the game. Life as a game requires full strategy, not just beautiful phrases repeated in front of a mirror. What you think influences your energy. Your energy influences your emotions. Your emotions influence your choices. And then results begin to appear. Do you see the sequence? If someone repeats all day, "I am incapable," that person will rarely have the courage to act when opportunity knocks. But when thought is aligned with growth, it activates a different posture in the face of challenges. This is not about denying difficulties. It is about choosing an interpretation that strengthens your evolution. Books like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill explore how mindset shapes long-term results. But remember this, thought is the starting point, not the destination. And if it is only part of the game, there is something even more decisive that comes next. The power of attention. If thought is a tool, attention is the switch that activates it. Where you place your focus, you place your energy. Life as a game operates strongly on this principle. What you observe intensely begins to gain strength in your reality. Have you noticed that when you buy a new car, you suddenly see that same model everywhere? It is not coincidence. It is directed attention. When you fixate on lack, mistakes, and what went wrong, you strengthen exactly that. It is like feeding the side of the game you do not want to grow. But when you consciously place attention on gratitude, small victories, and hidden opportunities inside challenges, Something shifts internally. Your awareness operates at a different level, and that new level changes your choices, your posture, your emotions. For the next 7 days, try this. Every time you catch your mind complaining, pause and ask, what here might be working in my favor? It sounds simple, and it is, but that shift in focus creates internal alignment. You leave reactive mode and enter strategic mode, and when you control your attention, you begin to influence your results. The game has levels. When you observe your journey closely, you'll notice a pattern. Challenges do not disappear. They evolve. Life as a game is structured in levels, and each level demands a more expanded version of you. In the beginning, the tests are simple. Later, they become more complex. Not because the universe is being harsh, but because your evolution requires more responsibility. No one starts by facing the final boss. Sometimes similar problems reappear at different stages. Maybe you once struggled to speak in front of 10 people. Now, the challenge is speaking in front of 100. The theme is similar, but the level is different. That does not mean you did not learn. It means you're climbing. When the game becomes harder, many people think about quitting. But greater difficulty often means you are ready for expansion. Growth is rarely comfortable, but it is always meaningful. People as characters. If life is a game, then the people around you are not random. They are characters in your journey. Each encounter carries purpose, even if you only understand it later. Some people enter as support, some as mentors, some as mirrors, and some as challenges. Even the villain is necessary for the protagonist to grow. Without conflict, there is no expansion. Without challenge, there is no learning. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this person teaching me? That simple shift transforms your energy. You stop playing the victim and step into the role of conscious player. Results as feedback. If you want to know how you are playing, look at your results. They are the scoreboard, not to judge you, but to guide you. Your reality reflects your choices, your focus, your energy, your mindset. Emotions are internal indicators. Lightness and clarity often signal alignment. Constant frustration and repeated anger may signal misalignment. Emotion is information, not a sentence. Notice repeating cycles, similar relationships, recurring financial struggles, the same types of conflicts. The game repeats the level until the lesson is integrated. Instead of blaming bad luck, ask, what am I still not seeing? That question alone can elevate your strategy. You are not the avatar. You are the player. Here is a powerful shift. Your body, your story, your name, your social roles. That is the avatar, but you are the awareness behind the controller. When something goes wrong, the avatar may feel fear or frustration. That is natural, but you're the one observing those emotions. That awareness changes everything. Before reacting, pause and ask, am I reacting as the avatar or choosing as the player? That question activates emotional maturity and clarity. And when you assume that role, you start leading your experience instead of being dragged by it. Challenges are not punishments. It is easy to interpret difficulties as punishment. But within the logic of life as a game, challenges are invitations to expansion. Discomfort is not failure. It is growth in motion. Every skill you developed once felt difficult. Then repetition turned it into something natural. The same applies to emotional and professional growth. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, where is this leading me? That shift transforms resistance into strategy. The journey is the destination. Many people become obsessed with the final trophy, the achievement, the recognition, but the real transformation happens along the path. The destination is a milestone. The journey is what changes you. When you learn to enjoy the process, everything shifts. Celebrate small advances. Every courageous conversation, every disciplined habit, every conscious decision. That is expansion happening in real time. The power of choices. If something defines the direction of life as a game, it is choice. Small daily decisions create long-term results. Choosing courage over fear. Choosing discipline over impulse. Choosing focus over distraction. Each choice carries energetic direction. Before acting, Ask yourself, does this decision move me closer to the version of myself I want to become? That question alone can transform your trajectory, because in the end, it is not circumstances that define your journey. It is the decisions you make within them. Acceptance instead of resistance. Acceptance is not surrender. It is clarity. Resistance drains energy. Acceptance redirects it. When you stop fighting reality, you begin to see possibilities that were invisible before. Acceptance says, this is what is in front of me now. What can I do with it? That posture creates alignment, and alignment creates movement. The game is working in your favor. Here is the final shift. The game is not against you. Life responds to your awareness, your focus, your choices, your energy. When you begin to see everything as contributing to your evolution, your posture changes. Nothing is personal. Everything is learning. Even mistakes become data. That is the mindset of an advanced player. Observe, learn, recalibrate, continue. So let me ask you, are you going to keep playing on autopilot? Or are you ready to take control of your avatar and elevate your level of awareness? The game is already happening. The question is not if you are playing. The question is how you are choosing to play. Observe your attention this week. Adjust your focus. Question your thought patterns. Reevaluate your choices. When a challenge appears, pause and ask what lesson is hidden inside it. Because the game responds to your energy, to your alignment, to your mindset. And now I ask you, what is the next level you are ready to access? Which version of you is waiting for courage to emerge? What decision can you make today that moves you toward expansion? Do not wait for the perfect moment. The game is already in motion. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Keep learning the rules. Keep leveling up. Keep playing with strategy. Because the more awareness you have, the more interesting the game becomes.